All right, guys, we are live, and it is not the three loose lug nuts starting out. It's going to be the two loose crazy fools, I guess we can call it tonight. But no, me and Octane is taking lead tonight. Josh is actually out at a family out, and I think his son had football practice or something, and he's going to be a little later. He will come on, but it'll most likely be with like 20 to 15 minutes left of the program. So me and Octane's got to do it. And what's bad is I'm going to look stupid at the first part of this deal because you all know that I was running the sale uh, Saturday night and I wasn't able to, per se, watch those races because I was getting ready for that. So I
And it
hope.
was a really good sale. It was a really good sale. I don't know if everybody that's on the stream right now watched it, but they need to go back and check that out because that was a pretty fun night.
Yeah, give me 1 second, Octane. I'm going to switch
Sure.
over my internet. So I may freeze. So
Okay.
because it looks like it's really blurry on my end. All right, maybe that helped a lot. I'm gonna shut it off from my phone.
It did
All
look
right.
like it cleared it up a little bit.
Well, that's about as best I think I can do it today. But anyways, yeah, it was a really good sale. And for anybody that is watching this, if there was something that didn't sell and you want to hit me up for it, I probably would let it go. But yeah, that was insane. I want to send a special thanks out to my mom. I doubt she's watching right now, but she was a trooper. Uh, and I think without her help, I wouldn't have been able to go through everything. I can literally say everything that was put up got shown. So, and shout out to everybody who bought in too. So you guys know who you are. What's up, Daniel Mirabelli? There's one right there, Daniel. I don't mean to call you out there, bud, but I kind of put your cards back in. I mean, you never paid for them, so I had to put them back in the sale. So I'm sure you can kind of understand there. But everybody else is paid up, and I sent everybody's packages out. So you guys should be receiving those in the next few days. So, but we're here tonight for the show. We're not here to talk about my crap because I'm sure you guys get tired of hearing that all the time. But anyways, a lot of great racing action. From what I seen on track, I think the new Atlanta surprised a lot of us. Can't you agree there, Octane?
I do. I think that it offered what they were going for. It created that super speedway style of racing, the pack style racing that they were going for, and that is just incredibly unique to the 1.5 mile layout of Atlanta.
It is, and I mean, just touching on the Cup race in general. What's up, Shaw? That was the best weekend of racing so far. Yep, exactly. You just took the words right out of my mouth. We might have just saw the best race we'll see all year. I mean, it's hard to say. You got a lot of weeks left, but I would definitely put that up there as number one so far. Just going into week 5 and everything. This is it really surprised and I'm here. I don't know if Outlaw is here, but he texted me last night and he was saying, I guess I ate my words on how last week he was talking down Atlanta so bad, how he didn't like the new track and everything, but he said he had to eat those words after that race. So it was really good. And I did you see where they were talking about wanting to do the other mile and a half? So I think that would be a no. I don't think they
I,
should do that.
I agree with that. I mean, kind of my take is, yeah, it was a good race, but my problem with it was we've already got 2 races at Daytona, we've already got 2 races at Talladega.
And
Every race does not need to be a side by side, pack race.
yeah,
Um, but I'm sure in time, as this pavement wears out, that this will become less of a pack race and more of the traditional Atlanta, just with more passing opportunities.
yeah, I can agree there. And I guess the old saying, time will tell. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll definitely see if that plays into factor in the next say 5-6 years. It'll take a little bit, but
And
it will
based
be
on
interesting.
and based on a lot of the drivers' post race interviews, not a lot of them were very favorable as far as the Cup drivers.
I know one that you didn't want to go to. I know
Yeah,
we're hitting on cup stuff first, but we'll go back to it. We're kind of just letting it flow tonight. Uh, You didn't want to talk to Kyle Busch about that race.
No, no, he was
he,
not happy at all.
he was a few man choice for words. Let's just say that he was in one of his little moods. But we'll get to the Cup action here in a little bit. But starting off the Truck Series race, we had a first-time winner again. Corey Himes took it home. That was impressive in itself. I think all three races were really good. I did get to watch tidbits of that more than I didn't really get to watch, but about half of the Xfinity. But I was working with all the stuff, so I really technically didn't watch anything, just hearing it. But Corey Himes, he's a great kid. He ran at Martinsville late model last year, and I remember seeing him there. And I think that he had ran it a prior time before, but I'm not sure. But it's great to see him pull it off. Another KBM though. I think we weren't even close on our picks. What was our picks last week? Josh took Crafton, I took Ben Rhodes, and you took Chandler Smith. It seems like Chandler was one of the, yeah. Well, Ben Rhodes finished second, so I guess I got that when I was close.
What I think Chandler was what, sixth or seventh?
He was fourth.
Fourth. Okay.
So I don't know where Crafton ended up. Maybe somebody can fact check that. But it looks like I was really close, and I just now noticed that I picked Ben Rhodes last week because there's just so much going on over the weekend. But that's pretty good.
There was a bit of a controversy with that finish. I don't know if you heard about it with John Hunter Nemechek.
No, I didn't actually hear about
that. Okay. What had happened? Chandler Smith was leading, and Corey Heim was running second. And they'd been that way for quite a while. They came up to lap John Hunter, I believe, for the second time. He was involved in an incident or something. His truck was off the pace. But when they came up to lap him, it was about 4 or 5 laps to go, where John Hunter got tucked in behind Corey Heim. So he was actually the third truck in line in the draft and stayed there for 3 or 4 laps. And I was really surprised that NASCAR didn't throw a black flag and say, hey, no, you're altering the finish of this, because in a sense that he did, because he was kind of blocking for the other 2 KBM trucks up front.
Right.
And then Corey Heim made the pass on the last lap, and then John Hunter went with him instead of Chandler. It was just, you have 2 teammates, you pick one.
Right, you can't be with both. That must be what I've got here, because I got a little screenshot. I like to do this when I find stuff for us to talk about. This must be what this is about. It says Chandler Smith, after the truck race, said, I get it where teammates tried to help them out, but you get effed over in the end by your other teammate. That must be what that's about.
And that's what happened. Right.
So that's what that was about, because I hadn't really looked into it. I was going to ask about it, so that's good you brought it up. So now I got all that tied together with what happened there. So.
If you did see the results, Miss Deegan did finish last. I don't know if you did.
Oh yes, I do want to talk about that. I did screenshot her Twitter thing. It says she put out. Did you see that today on Twitter?
The picture of her in the infield care center, where she said something about it being.
This is a statement she put out. Have you seen?
Oh no, I have not.
All right, so here's what it says. It says, "Yes, I'm okay now. Our truck and times were super fast. First flat was caused from the 91 plowing into me on lap 7 on the backstretch for no reason. I did see that. I remember that. It says, I was on fire for multiple laps. I started suffocating and could not breathe when the fire extinguisher and black smoke engulfed the truck on pit road. I couldn't get out because I couldn't see the window net. And then she says, I declined my interview because I couldn't say 2 words without coughing or feeling like I was going to choke." So
I'd seen the picture of her, and she looked like she was in pretty rough shape there for a few minutes. So,
I mean, I can understand that. I remember hearing that. See, I did get to watch, like I said, I keep saying that. I'm like a broken record tonight, I guess, but I couldn't really focus on it because I was working on everything. But I remember hearing them say that Deegan declined talking to the reporters, and I was like, well, she must be upset. I didn't realize the whole thing, and I guess a lot of people must have thought she was upset. She wouldn't have, I guess, put out that statement there at the end telling why she declined it.
Right.
But yeah, she finished last. She can't catch a good break. It seems like every week she's running into issues, and I'm not saying every week is her own fault. but she's having a lot of bad luck. So hopefully that does turn around. I mean, I like Haley and everything, but she's got to turn it around because I mean, I just don't want her to. It would be terrible for her to move up from truck, say this season, and then go straight cup. That would be Danica 2.0, and we don't want that. I think she needs maybe another year in trucks. I don't know how long to keep putting that off, but she's definitely not ready for cup yet. Maybe Xfinity, maybe. But have you heard if she's gonna run any places this year? I haven't really heard anything.
I haven't heard anything either about that. I would say that's all pretty much up in the air for now.
Yeah. Off subject, her hero card. I seen somebody had that on eBay. I was like, yeah, right. That thing was up to $41 on bid. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And it was the specific for Atlanta's the truck she ran in Atlanta. I was like, yeah, right. I'm not spending all that, but that's ridiculous. Speaking of truck series, I've seen some names going into next week. It looks like AM Racing, which is Austin Wayne Self's team, they're going to be running a second truck. Did you hear about that? And I'm looking for the name. Logan Beardan. He's a native of Austin, Texas, which is obviously where Austin Wayne Self is from. He'll be in the 37. And it looks like it's Beardan Automotive. So he's carrying like a family-owned sponsorship. I don't know if you've seen that yet or
No,
not.
I hadn't heard much of anything about that. So,
And then somebody else here. Let's see. I got it right over here. Where's it at?
well, I was going to let you know real quick. I may lose signal here for a few minutes, so if you don't hear
Okay.
from me, I'll be back.
All right. I also had this is going into the Bristol Dirt, which is only 3 weeks away from now. It's hard to believe we're getting close. No, that's 4 weeks. That's about a month from now. It looks like Buddy Kofoid is going to be running for Kyle Busch Motorsports. He'll be in the 51 truck. So I was iffy on who they were going to have in the trucks, truck race for that. I didn't think that Kyle would run it because, he said he was stepping. I think he stepped away from Xfinity. I keep getting mixed up. I think he's stepping away from everything, but it's trucks he's staying with, but Xfinity he's not. So, Buddy Kofoid, if you guys remember, I think he finished second or third at the Chili Bowl this year. He was up front. I want to say he finished second though. I can't quote that, but he's going to be running for that. And what's Roger saying? I don't care if she finishes last as long as she runs every lap and doesn't have any issues. Well, she definitely had some issues, Rog. So she finished last, but she had issues, so that's not good. But one other thing, I can't find it. How about the hauler? We got to touch bases on that. That was I think that was a truck team's hauler. Did you see that, Octane? He may have lost the signal, guys. But yeah, the Ream brothers, the Ram brothers, or however you say it, they went down the wrong tunnel. I'd hate to say, you think your race car is going to come back all bent up, but you'll wind up in it's your hauler that gets bent up as well. So that's I can only imagine how the that hauler driver felt when he went down the wrong way. But the way they talked, they said that that's not the first time that that's occurred. So very very interesting. I'm wondering if they have any signage up or anything for those haulers drivers to one of those do not exit so much clearance height or whatever type situations. But I'd hate to been to the hauler driver explaining to the head boss man exactly what happened on that issue, and I'm wondering if he's still got a job because people do make mistakes. But I don't know about that one. That was pretty rough. Speaking of some other points, I did want to touch on. We had Stuart Friesen. He back to the truck race. He won stage one. Then we had John Hunter won stage two, and we touched bases on our picks earlier for you guys that missed. Josh had picked Matt Kraft, and Ben Rhodes was my pick, and then Chandler Smith was Octane. It looked like I beat them all because Ben Rhodes was runner up, and then Chandler Smith was fourth. I did want to see.
I'm back, Danny. So
Okay, I done pretty good there, keeping something going.
okay.
I did. That's new way to be dumb. I don't know what you're talking about there, Raj. You'll have to further explain that. I did want to touch bases on the points for the trucks, I guess, going into next week at Coda. See where that is. I got it over here, I thought. If I can find it. There it is. So Chandler Smith is still out front. He's got 132 points. And then Tanner Gray right there with 119. Ty Majeski, which he finished top 5 there. Again, it looks like he's 115. Stuart Friesen's at 106. Rhodes at 105. Who's in the 98? I always have problems with this crap. Who's in the 98?
Is it Christian Eckes? It's not Christian Eckes, is it?
I think so. He's got 88 points, and then Austin Wayne in the 7th position with 84, and then John Hunter with 80, and Zane Smith. He actually gained 3 spots. It looks like he's got a +3. So Eckes actually gained 5 spots. I failed to mention that, but Zane Smith in 9th with 79 points, and then Crafton rounds out the top 10 with 78. So things are starting to heat up a little bit. Then you got your cutoff spots: Hocevar, Ankam. Who's in the 17? Geez, I'm terrible.
Well, 17 is the All-Star truck this year.
Yeah, it's the all.
So Ryan Priest drove it Saturday. So.
Yeah, so it's just a give or take car, and then Matty D there in 14th. I heard at the restaurant this morning that Noah got into another fist fight after the race. Was talking about the hauler. Oh, he's talking about the hauler driver. Yeah, that was crazy. I didn't hear anything about Noah Gragson getting in a fist fight. May have to.
I hadn't heard anything either. But,
let me do it.
Go ahead.
Do a little search. Go ahead. No, I'm looking at.
No, what I was going to say is the first lap of the race. I think Di Benedetto had started 6th or something, and he was going for the lead in turn 4 and got loose and smacked the wall, and that's why he had such a bad finish on Saturday in the truck race. I think Di Benedetto, Matty D.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on Noah.
I hadn't heard anything on that either. And then you were talking about points, and I've kind of been just looking at oddball places and points, really. And we mentioned Haley a few minutes ago. She is right now mired in 33rd in points. That's how horrible of a start that she's had so far this year.
And going in, you're at week 5 right now, correct? Well, not for those guys. Guys. What is this?
Yeah, that was their third or fourth.
I think the third. I think
because they ran Daytona in California. I think.
Yeah, so sorry, scratch that. It's their third. That was their third start. Yeah, I know it's early, but it's gonna be hard to come back from that deficit.
It's a hole you don't want to dig out of for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's not a good way to start off your season. That's for sure. I don't know. It's there's always hype when you have a new female come in, mm-hmm. And we all get excited. Every one of us did, but it's always like the same outcome. She's been the best of them all, but it's still, I hate to say it, leaning towards that same outcome as it always tends to do.
The Danica 2.0 thing.
Yeah, and I do want to preach again. I finally did go back and hear Boyer's exact comments. Cahoots to him for getting on to her last week. That was pretty good. She didn't say anything else, if you noticed that.
Yeah, when he mentioned about what real racers do or whatever it was he made.
Yeah. He's like, we don't talk about that over here. He just had enough, I guess. But I guess moving forward, we'll go over to the Xfinity side of things. I think that's all I wanted to hit on. Let me go back and look at my little screenshot things I had took. We're making this happen though tonight. We'll make it happen. It's a little bit rougher, but I don't know why I'm saying it's rougher. It's just we're so used to Josh, so to speak.
And I didn't think it. The truck race all three races raced entirely different from each other, and I think that was
Yes.
because of the different styles of just the aero styles on all three cars, and plus the level of drivers. Where I think
Oh yeah.
of all three series, I think the Xfinity series probably had the least experience field.
Yeah, I would say so as well, because you got more. You, of course, the Cup Series. We ain't even got to talk about that. That was the one with the most experience. That's why they're in the Cup Series. But trucks, you've got more of the regulars that's been there. I would definitely say more people that were not used to that kind of style would have been in Xfinity as well. What's
and
up,
it, and
Victor?
it and it showed in each race where everybody was watching the truck race, the Xfinity guys and the Cup guys. They wanted to learn, okay, what is this doing? Then same thing with the Xfinity, the Cup guys were watching. And then if you noticed in the Cup race, they were actually able to use the low groove for a lot longer than the Xfinity or the Truck Series were. So I don't
I
know if it was
wonder.
the track working in or if the drivers or what it might have been. So.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I wonder if more rubber had, from the first two races that were ran previously the day before, if they had laid more rubber down and that just made for better racing.
Mhm.
But I can't stress enough. I will say yesterday and the whole weekend it was just incredible with the racing, and I think we saw some of the best racing we may see all year. It's hard to say. I can't say this enough, and I think I said it the other week. I can't wait to see what's going to happen when these next gens get on that dirt at Bristol, and the
Yes.
week before that at Martinsville. Brakes, they got the bigger brakes, and you know how brakes are really really important at Martinsville.
Mm-hmm.
It just I don't know. I think the tires will be tested big time at Martinsville.
Well,
And
even this week at Coda, it's going to be a break,
well,
because you got a
for
couple of
sure,
really
that's
long
their first
straights, and
road course. Yep, with the brakes as well.
so they'll
I
see
just
how
I
well these cars turn right.
Right. And the reason I'm hitting on Bristol so much,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we asked this the other week, and I don't know what they're doing, but with those cars as low as they are, and you got that rear diffuser, the least little thing. Um, Give me 1 second, Roger. Just give me 1 second. I'll have to actually maybe call and go get it because it's not right here. Um, but yeah, I don't know with that diffuser how that's going to work on dirt. I'm wondering if they'll remove that or what will they do? Because
I don't think they'll remove it because they've got those cars engineered to be with it. So
that's what
yeah,
I was thinking. And if it's that clay that they had, well, I think I'm reminiscing and thinking so much when it rained at
yeah,
Bristol, and that was with the trucks and how
mm-hmm.
messy that got.
Right,
So
because
I
you were
think
just digging in.
yeah, it was digging in. That would not work at all with those
Mm-mm.
cars. So
No,
hopefully they get things situated. And I hope it's a good show. I mean, time will tell. But yeah, I was truly happy with yesterday's action. I can say that and repeat it like a broken record. But let's get to that so we can show Roger his that hauler that I got. I'm gonna ask my wife, so I'm gonna step back. Y'all see me
mm-hmm.
moving around. We are definitely just floating around tonight and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Let's see what Fanatics card. What's up, Jamie? The race was crazy here in Hampton. Yeah, I live 8 miles. Here's the hauler. I'll actually take it out of the box because they're removable really easy. I found it today though, guys, and y'all know me and everything with my Larson stuff. So that was coming home with me for sure. So there it is, Mr. Riggs. Hopefully you can see it. All right. So hopefully we get that signed at some point. and everything. I got too much now as it is, as if adding one more item ain't gonna be enough. But I guess we can put him back in the background. There we go. Um, but all right, going to Xfinity. Ty Gibbs yet again, second win. Can you believe it? That
Well,
was insane.
he didn't have the car that was dominant like you would think he would. When you see Ty Gibbs, he won. If you look at the box score and you go over and look at laps led, he led one lap.
Yeah, he led the
So
lap that counted, so to speak.
and Ryan Sieg, I thought for sure this was going to be Ryan Sieg's race. He drove an incredible race, and I just thought for sure that Ryan was going to pull it off this week because he did have a strong car. He was leading at the white flag, and Ty just made that move that where you back up to the car in front of you and you just shoot off into the corner, and that's what he did.
Well, I got to say this because he's here. I'm picking on him as I always do. I appreciate you letting me know that Ty Gibbs won during the stream Saturday night, Mr. Riggs. I got on to him when he come up here at my house to pick his stuff up Sunday. Yeah, I didn't want to watch or know anything, but then he told me, but I still went back and watched. And like you said with Sieg, and I see your comment there, Roger, it would look good in silver or gold. That is the plan for sure. But yeah, with Sieg, Ty was pushing him, and I was like, will he do what I think he's about to do? He didn't do it, and you know what I'm talking about. That kind of goes back, but I don't think he wanted to stoop that low because I think they've already hashed that out and everything, and I think that's kind of been nipped in the bud, so to speak. So
yeah, I think they're long past it. I think they had a good talk the week after, and they were able to iron out their differences.
But I was curious seeing him push him like that. You always got to keep that in the back of your mind when you're watching something like that. And I mean, it's kind of still fresh. It ain't been but a couple weeks. So,
and it does, even on the speedways, Daytona and Talladega, you're always going to have oddball pairings like that where near the end of a race, you're going to have, say, Kyle Busch and Joey Logano working together, or Harvick and Chase.
Yeah. For sure. Oh, there he is. Now I
don't
feel it's stupid. At least I got somebody to look at because I'm just sitting here looking at your little circle.
The little black deal there.
What's that? Wish you had a tabletop showcase of your Haley Deegan PC for GZ Mikey contest ended yesterday. Oh wow. I would probably go farther and say my Larson PC because it's a whole lot huger there, Henry S. I've got tons and tons of Larson. I didn't know anything about it though, but that's pretty cool. Hate I missed it. And Roger comes in with the chime. You're welcome. So he's answering my thanks for letting me know about Gibbs. Wow. But touching on Xfinity, stage one, Josh Berry won. He led the last lap on that, and it's crazy because Noah Gragson had led everything up to that point. I went back and looked at that. He led
another one.
The what?
Oh no, never mind. Hang on.
Okay, he's stepping out again. But yeah, Noah had led every lap, guys, except for the last one. Where did Biffle end up? Is he a go or go homer now? I think Biffle finished really well. Let me check that. I'll let you know. Let's see. I know he was up front there for a little bit. We're getting there. We're not back on the Cup Series. All right, that's all right. Where did Biffle end up? Greg Biffle.
I think he was 20th.
20th. Yep, 20th. But yeah, we'll talk about the Cup stuff here in a few. Allmendinger took stage 2. He was strong going into as well. But yeah, I was touching on Noah. He led all the laps except for that last one in stage 1.
And it was kind of ironic. It came down to teammates again. It seems like either end of stages or end of races this year that it's down to teammates this year.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Noticed that a lot.
But Josh Berry is becoming a really good mile-and-a-half track driver. I mean, I like how in his interview pre-race, he just says, "I'm just a late model guy." So,
we've never really talked much Josh Berry here on the channel, but Man, so many years. I've probably seen that guy run Martinsville for that late model feature every year, probably since 2010. And finally, seeing him succeed as much as he is succeeding in the Xfinity series, it's just puts a joy in my heart seeing him finally get that chance and opportunity, that he deserves. And he's proven himself. He didn't just get that ride and then just maybe finish good once. No, he's continuously finishing and proving himself on all these new tracks that he's never been to and stuff. So I'm glad to see that. I'd love to see him race um, Cup full time. That'd be great. And I think he
I
might
can
get
see
that
that in
chance.
his. That could be in his future. I mean, Hendrick doesn't have any old drivers right now, but he'd look good in a calling car.
Right, he would. And don't forget, Junior did play around with the maybe go cup racing thing. Remember that
Mm-hmm.
little rumor that was going around? I think they
I,
would have to expand their shop. The shop's not big enough. They'd have to figure out remodeling or find something because that shop's just not big enough to house all that. There's no way, not with all that stuff they got going on.
and they'd have to double their budget, just the
Oh yeah,
budget alone.
they may
Because I
have
know
to back off.
Junior's very strict on his budget.
Oh yeah, yeah. They would probably have to back off some of that Xfinity program, to be honest. I would think maybe I don't know what the one car I would
I could
say
see him
would
going down. If I could see him doing two cars, doing like the 5 car and the 7 car, because I don't see
yeah, I would
Allgaier
see him
moving back up.
dropping the one car is what I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking. That's what I was meaning by the one. I think you may have thought I was just saying one car, but no. Yeah, I could definitely see him dropping one of them, and if he was going to bring in one, kind of replace that one with his cup, because with these new cars, it's going to cost a ton more now for sure. And speaking of the new cars, I seen somebody asking, was anybody selling the sheet metal from these new ones? And I think they said the Racing Warehouse is, but they're like triple the normal price of a piece of sheet metal. I've not seen any pieces go for sale yet. I'm sure they are pricey though. But Roger says kind of back in the day with Roush Racing. He must be talking about what is he talking about? Maybe the Xfinity Series team that they had, because no, that was back in the Busch Series days for Roush. I don't know what he's talking about.
What did he say? Because I don't have access to
It
his
says
chat.
kind of back in the day with Roush Racing, they were talking about. Well, they were talking about Biffle there,
Mm-hmm.
but Biffle was with Roush. I don't know what you're saying there, Mister Riggs.
Unless he's talking about when Roush had 5 cup teams at one time. That may be
Yeah,
what he's
that's the only
alluding
thing I
to.
could think of too. I mean, he had his Bush organization too, and then the nationwide, and then it kind of
Mm-hmm.
just fell to the wayside. I was actually down at RFK last week. He's talking about Biffle. There we go. I was down at RFK last week. There, everything in there. I don't know if you've been there or not, Octane, but their
No, I
little
have not.
foyer way that they have all the cars and stuff is still the same. They've rebranded everything to RFK, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
where it did
Mm-hmm.
say Roush, it now says RFK. They're trying to still get everything organized in the little gift shop. So, and another one to touch on is Trackhouse, guys. If you're one that goes around and wants to visit the shops, Trackhouse is not one you really want to go to quite yet because they're still remodeling from the Ganassi stuff, and where they had their gift shop, it's now being remodeled. I don't understand the whole situation, but they got to have everything perfect, I guess, and branded. But the lady told me that they were going to have that open eventually, and they done away with the little walkout where you could view the people working on that. I don't know if that's coming back or not, but did go there. But how about my son getting that thing from Venturini? That's on my
Oh,
mind too. That was pretty
that was very
awesome, right?
cool. That was
Uh
cool.
that was a shot because I've always heard all these bad things about, him being ugly and rude and the workers in there being rude. And I always go in these places with the utmost respect and I'm wanting to, ask them nicely. And if they say no, they don't have any hero cards or no, we don't have this or that, I just kind of say thank you, have a nice day and move on. But wow, when he told us to come into his office, he's like, are y'all standing out there all day or y'all coming in? I'm like, well, sir, I'm not going to just barge in your office. He was like, well, that's, what I want you to do. So that was really cool. Um, but let's see. Austin Hill finished second. We had Almendinger third. What was our picks for Xfinity? Let me go back.
I had Brandon Jones, and I think he was 7th or 9th.
Yeah, I had Barry And where did he wind up at?
He
I
was
don't
like
have.
30th. He crashed out.
Yeah, he crashed out, and then Josh took his guy Almendinger, and I don't even think he was. Where was he at? I don't have
I
it
want to say
pulled up.
I want to say he was like 4th or 5th.
Yeah. See, I didn't get to watch it all, so I'm kind of lost on left field with it. But yeah, our picks was off the wall. We were all dumb last week going in. We didn't know any better, so we'll get our picks here in a little bit. So y'all stay tuned. You'll want to see who we got going in Dakota because they're all three running.
But to touch on that wreck that Barry was in, because I think Trevor Bain was the one that was the start of it. I'm not saying he caused it, but that's where it started at. I think the report said there was 14 cars involved. If you watch the replay, all 4 JRM cars were involved in that crash.
Oh yeah, that I remember them saying that in the little clip I was watching. They was like, "You do realize that all juniors JRM was in that," and I was like, "Holy crap, they actually were." So I wouldn't want to mess with Dale Jr. after that.
I could just hear Junior. I could hear Junior saying something. Boy, that was an expensive lap.
Yeah, definitely. That was one of those close your eyes and act like you didn't see it type thing. Mm-hmm. That was terrible. All right, off things. Brad was. I did want to talk. We always talk about this with Fox. Fox is floating around with everybody getting them up there in the booth. What did you take on Brad? How was he? Him and Joey.
Well, I think they have chemistry, and that comes just from them being teammates for so long.
Yeah.
So they were very fluid. They could bounce things off of each other, and I think those two have worked in the booth before.
Yeah.
And so you have somebody. Brad Keselowski is very analytical. He thinks a lot of things out. You know, obviously, like his move to RFK, that was a long thought out thing. I'm sure he could have stayed with Penske for the rest of his career, but he knew he was only going to he's plateaued. He's as good as he's going to get there. So, you know, he has a lot of very, very analytical insight. And Joey Logano is more of an emotions guy. And I think he kind of comes out and speaks from the heart and speaks from, you know, just immediate, boom, this is what I process, this is what I think, this is what I see. And I think together they work really, really well.
Oh, yeah, they done really good, and I was impressed. And you touched exactly what I was going to say, them being teammates. You could tell the chemistry was there. And then, you add in Alan Alexander. I mean, he's obviously been with them for a long time. He was back with the Speed Channel stuff, right? If I remember.
I want to say he was in like in the in-studio stuff for a while. Yeah.
So,
and then of course Vince Welch, I believe, is the lead truck anchor, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
who was calling trucks? See, I didn't get to really see a lot.
I'm drawing a blank on that one right now. I want to say Michael might have been in the booth, but
and I think didn't they have Phil back in the booth? I don't know why I'm thinking that.
That sounds right. I'd have to go back and watch and listen for a few laps and see.
I may have just made a fool out of myself, but I know Phil Parsons used to be full time with the truck stuff like that. So, but yeah, I agree 100%. It was good seeing Brad back. Oh, look who shows up. Here we go. He showed up. Let's see. I added him and removed him really quick.
Yeah, there he is.
What's up?
All right. So you kind of got here right when we're talking about the Cup stuff going into it. But I want to give a congratulations to Jimmy Johnson, finished 6th at Texas. How about that?
You stole my thunder. I was going to mention that.
Oh, well, I stole it.
Well, it's because it was his first.
He doesn't get his thunder.
That was his first ever oval race in an IndyCar.
Yeah, and I was thinking that. I was like, going back to the roots of NASCAR, why wouldn't he finish well?
Right.
So I just wonder if they ran all ovals, how good would he really be in Indy? He could potentially maybe win the championship.
But he's full time this year, so he's running every race.
Right. So,
which makes you wonder, did he really get forced out of NASCAR and he's just doing this because?
Yeah. Right. So we said our say. Out of all 3 races, not saying which one's the best, your take on all the racing action, wasn't we proven wrong? I mean, that was some good racing action.
And I think that the Cup race was the best one finally out of all 3 of them this week.
Yeah, we touched on that. We started out and we were talking about how that was possibly maybe the best race we'll see all year. It's hard to say. We're only week 5, but I mean,
I had the worst picks.
Yeah,
I think every one of my
not
picks
for
crashed.
Xfinity, not for Xfinity.
I mean, you had Allgaier. You beat us out there because both of our guys were back there.
Yeah, but
I'm
Allgaier
going
crashed out
No,
too.
no, you had Allmendinger. He said you had Allmendinger.
No, I had
Yeah.
Allgaier.
Oh, you had Allgaier. Okay.
Yeah, you had Allgaier. I had Barry, and you had Brandon Jones. Truck Series, he had.
You
Kraft
almost pulled off the truck win.
I know it.
I tried.
I was second there with Ben Rhodes. So, all right, we're at 7:40. Let's go ahead and start talking about some Cup action. We've kind of touched bases on it all week. I mean, all night. Byron, how about that? Another winner. That's 5 winners already. We've had a different winner each week. You think that continues, or do we finally get a repeat coming up?
I think that continues this week because of it being a road course.
Yeah. For sure.
I think we go 8 or 9 races before we get a repeat winner.
Yeah.
Because almost every track is diametrically opposite of the one before it.
Yep.
Yes, especially with Atlanta's change this week. That would have been kind of a normal basis thing, but they just kind of switched it up there. My guy had another outing. Kyle Busch had his issues. Where did he wind up? I heard one time he was 8 laps down. Did he ever make any of that stuff up? But they parked, right? They parked.
Yeah, he parked.
I think they was in the wreck. He was in the wreck with Dylan, and then they came back out for a little while, and then something happened. They never really did report what happened. At least I didn't catch what they said what happened.
Daddy, what color you wear when you were...
Yeah, Dylan caused that wreck, right?
Dylan slid up in front of Kyle. He kind of got loose on the inside and slid up in front, and I think when he backed off, Kyle just bumped him a little bit, and then it just triggered all of it.
Yeah, it was a lot of aero. A lot of aero caused some issues on that.
So, how about the right rear failures?
Dude, what the heck was that about?
I think that was those particular Chevy teams running extreme camber on that right rear tire.
Well, I seen that Goodyear had put out a statement. One of the guys that says the director of Goodyear Racing says that they are all the same manufacturers. We do know that that's a little bit suspicious. The fact that it is the right rear is kind of unique and strange because the right rear is not mostly heavily loaded position on the race car. That's the right front that would be that issue. So we're trying to understand what's going on. This is still a new car, and we had guys put 50 plus laps on tires in practice, and we saw nothing at all. And then this out of nowhere, who knows what's going on? So
I get the whole camber, but I mean, yeah, I'm sure camber can affect it, but they're not. I don't think those cars. I don't think they allow them. I think there's a limit on that camber. I mean, it's gonna. I mean, you can't do such an extreme camber on it where it's. I mean, it's gonna camber out eventually. It's just gonna stop being able to.
Yeah. And then you'll have issues.
It was what the one car, the 8 car, and who was the other one that had the trouble?
Did Stenhouse get out front one time?
Yeah, Stenhouse. That was the other one. So it was 3 Chevys, but they were 3 separate organizations.
Yeah.
Right. It was very, very weird.
And I think they all happened. I think it was so weird that they all happened to like 33 laps on that tire. In particular, it was weird. Like it was like the same lap on all 3 of those.
Yeah,
because they never did have green flag pit stops at all this race. Very unusual.
Yeah. What was your take? We kind of talked about it at the beginning, Josh. Octane and I agree that probably over the years this track changes, and we don't see that pack racing. Maybe 5 years from now.
I think that the track will eventually work itself in, probably more towards the older style Atlanta, probably after a few years. But I mean, shoot, I'd vote to repave that thing every 3 years.
Come into some money and take ownership of it, and you can do that, right?
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, I get why people. I mean, it boils down. Pack racing's fun to watch. It really is. It keeps you on the edge of your seat pretty much the whole time. And I mean, I think NASCAR gets a bad rap because it can get boring at times. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I would be lying if I didn't say I was sitting on my couch one time watching NASCAR and I dozed off. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it pack racing keeps you in it. It really does. Same with short tracks. Just the intermediates where they all spread out. It's not exciting, but I get it. I get where people are coming from. They're mad about Atlanta, but I mean, I'm not one of those people.
Right. There were several records set too. I had
Yeah.
jotted down. They had the record number of cars that were out of the race, and then wrecked as well, and then I think lead changes. Right.
Yep.
So,
leaders and lead changes.
Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like
insane.
20 something different leaders and 46 lead changes or something.
I mean that lives up to its name, the super speedway action. So they called it a super speedway. There you go. Usually have a lot of lead changes and stuff. So
And I was surprised about them being able to keep two grooves almost the entire race. I think we only went like 30 laps in single file. Like I thought it was pretty good.
well, Allgaier told us last Tuesday that he said that there was going to be a single groove racetrack. He was proven completely wrong. I mean, he was going in there saying that they were just going to train, and then go for a slingshot or something crazy, with like a lap to go.
And that was
But,
cool to see too. Again, was the slingshot.
yeah. Yeah. I think one of them referenced it. I don't
It
forgot
was
who it
it was cool to see it be successful, but it was also cool to see it fail at the same time. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it looked like the timing, like you really had to be on your game to time it just right.
Chastain was the only one that was able to really keep the lead successfully too, because he had that, like you say, timing. He had that timing down of coming off the corner and backing up to the car behind him and keeping him behind where everybody else was getting out ahead in the corner, and by the end of the straightaway, they was mowing them down. So I think Chastain kind of mastered that driving style very, very early on.
Oh, yeah. What did you this is completely drawing off subject, but I had it wrote down. I know y'all are more into baseball than I am. It's pretty cool to see John Smoltz take action. Like what?
Yeah, that
5
was
minutes
cool.
worth.
And Jeff Gordon's stupid response to how long the friggin' reaction time to one of his fastballs was 2.5 seconds.
2.5 seconds.
What a ding dong, dude.
I knew that was coming. When I said that, I was like, yeah, one of them's gonna say it. Should have known it was you. But yeah, that's pretty cool to see him. And I guess you'll be happy. They said Tony was coming back next week in the booth at Coda. So
yeah, Andy was in the pits this weekend too.
yeah, they were calling him Professor Stewart. He was all dressed up and he was inspecting the tires. That was pretty cool seeing him.
He had that brace on his left hand, and they were kind of asking about that. Nobody confirmed anything, so
it's already getting in fights with his wife.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
one of my biggest takeaways so far from this whole year with this new car has been the lack of damage during a crash, which means they don't have crumple zones. And a few of the drivers have already admitted these are hard hits that they've got. And I don't know if you guys have picked up on that or not.
Yeah, nothing's crumpling.
Cody Ware slammed the wall.
And every time you see one of those hard hits where you see the cars actually is destroyed, like you could visibly see that it's destroyed. Those guys are getting out like they're winded, like they lost their breath. Like Bubba, he came out winded. Cody Ware,
Noah Gragson took a minute in the Cup race to get out too, with that head-on shot.
It's taken them a while. But with that on the other side of things, Chastain last year he would have been out of the race if he.
Oh yeah, with sheet metal.
And Eric Jones and I mean they're strong. Those bodies are strong because there's a lot of hits where you would see the entire fender crumple and break off with the old cars on some of these hits, and now it's you throw a little tape on it and it's like good to go. I'm like, man.
Oh yeah, we were fixing to touch at Roger. I got it on my screen, like legit. Roger saying it, and it's on my screen. I was gonna talk about it. Yeah, NASCAR says that they're having a car go to the Le Mans next year. What do y'all think about that? I think Larson will drive it. What do y'all think? Have they
I
announced
think it'll be Larson and Elliott.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if it's a Cup race weekend or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, that's true.
I think it's going to be somebody out of their sports
Development
car,
program.
the development or the sports car. The Corvette. The normal Corvette or Chevy drivers or whoever. I don't know who races in the IMSA and all that, but I think it would be somebody out of that group. And they said it was called Garage 56, I believe. It's like for one
Just like
special prototype.
Curve, type situation.
It's basically the next gen car, but it's got a bunch of
I know they said running
all the road
headlights
race
and brakes.
stuff on it.
Running lights and brake lights, all that.
Yeah, they have to because
I mean it's an endurance.
But it wouldn't be the first time that a NASCAR team went to Le Mans. Back in the 70s, Junie Donlevy's team with Dick Brooks went over there. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that story.
I saw a
it.
video on that on I think what they only lasted like 7 hours or something
But they said when they'd go down that Mulsanne Straight, which is I think 4 miles long, and that Cup car going down there, you know how loud a Cup car is, and all the other exotic sports cars were very quiet, and this one was like 5 times as loud.
Yeah.
And the French people were just scattered when they seen that car coming down the straightaway because they did not want to hear that thing rattling windows.
Right. That's crazy. You're right, though.
Now, also, you notice with a lot of these crashes and hits that those side windows popping out?
Yeah.
It's happened. Almost every hit, every crash they're popping out.
Well, it's because that body and that chassis is so rigid and it's not flexing. So you're transferring that energy to that glass inside.
Yep. I did have a note here. It looks like Andy Lally will drive for Live Fast this weekend at COTA. I don't know all the entry lists. That's the thing with us doing this on a Monday. We don't see entry lists till Tuesday. So
I looked them up while I was eating really quick.
Are they out yet?
I saw the trucks and Xfinity.
So no Cup yet.
I didn't even look up Cup. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I think with Cup, I think your 36 charter teams.
Yeah.
Your winner's going to come out of that.
Yeah, Ringer isn't going to win it in Cup.
No.
Ringer could potentially win it in
supposed
trucks
to be
or
running
Xfinity,
this weekend, right?
Huh?
Boris said.
Yeah, I thought he was running is it a DGM
right?
entry or MBM?
Yeah,
that's what it was.
66, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it'd be cool to see him return to the track, for sure. Let's see if I had anything else. Yeah, but Greg Biffle had a good run. I had that on there, and overall, it was some crazy racing. That's all.
What about Corey LaJoy top 5?
Yep.
Yeah.
After going backwards through the air in that crash.
I know, and the grass didn't destroy the car.
No, yeah.
Well, he wasn't on the grass.
He ramped it.
Yeah.
That was a wild finish. Looks like Chase Elliott is our new points leader. He gained 2 spots. Have that pulled up. That's your boy right there, Octane.
Yeah.
Logano dropped a spot, and then Chase Briscoe moved up 2. Big timer though. William Byron gained 11 off of that. I mean, he ran really good. And then Kurt Busch gained 7 spots. He's in 5th now.
Yeah, Toyota ran a lot better.
How about Chastain? We talk about him every week. 3rd straight top 3 finish. 3rd straight.
I Chastain and Suarez and
Trackhouse is showing out this year.
They're all gonna get a win.
They have showed up to not play around.
And I'm thinking Eric Jones is gonna get a win too.
It was good to see the 43 up. Yeah.
And with that damage.
Yeah. When I seen Larson on pit road and they were working on the radiator in the front end, and then I seen him up front again leading, I was like, wait, do what? Because I didn't gave up hope. And I was like, oh boy. And then what do you know? There he is wrecking again. Hamlin putting him out. So whatever.
Well, like they
But
said in the podcast, like they said on the broadcast, Larson just had all that damage, and when he got out in front, he just became a snowplow.
Yep.
He just couldn't go anywhere.
speaking of Larson, if he didn't have the win, do you guys realize he's sitting 12th in points? He dropped 8 spots. These last 2 weeks have really been troublesome for him.
And I was looking at points too this morning, and something to notice: Austin Cindric, Daytona 500 winner, is 17th in points. So already we've started that. Top 16 aren't going to make it.
Yeah.
5 races in, and
unless there's 15 or less winners, which that's going to be a tough one this year.
So they aren't doing the whole if you're 25th in points.
Well, it's 30th in points, But the thing is, right now, Cindric sits 17th in points, so Keselowski is 16th. So Keselowski would be the odd man out right now. So we're only 5 races in, and we're already starting that shuffling around.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here.
Whereas last year I think it was about race 18 or 19 before McDowell got out of the top 16.
Right. It'd definitely be interesting, especially if we get a ton of winners like we're expecting that we'll probably have over these next few weeks. And if it's not multiple winners, that's just going to spell for disaster for him, and he'll go farther and farther back. But
I think right now Denny Hamlin's like 28th in points, so if he gets a win, there's no guarantee he's going to make it back in the top 16 right now.
Right, and seeing that 11 car, I'm going to be me and not be a cover-up. Looking at him right here in 27th, 28th, he's putting smiles to my ears. I can't stand it. I'm kind of like you when I said Chase is our new
yeah.
But wow, we're to the point. I think everybody's excited to see what's going to happen. So it's pick time. We've only got a few more minutes. So
hey, are you writing down our finishing spots on these sheets where the drivers finish?
I did last week, but I didn't on the other ones. But it's no big deal to go back and do it.
I think you should, and then we can do an average of where our pick average finishes or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not.
That'd be interesting.
I'll hand that to you at the end of the season.
Just make sure you keep the notes.
Yeah. Hey, I'll say it again before I go off. Just speaking numbers, my mom did a heck of a job Saturday night. I want to say a special thanks to her. I know she's probably not watching this, but she done really good on that sale, keeping up with all that. And I'll definitely say that.
Yeah, I think she charged me too much.
Yeah, she charged you $4 more. But what that was your we were bidding on that card for Gray, she wrote it, and then she thought we were going to cancel it out and be done. But no, we kept it going for the rest of the night, basically, and then it got bid up. That was funny when she let it out. She said, "I hope Roger didn't take that wrong." She said, "My mouth just overloaded my stomach." She says, "By God, I'm not letting Roger's card go for more of my grandbabies."
Yeah, and then I was like, "Come on, Grandma, you can bid too."
Hey, I got to do this. We've only got a few more minutes, a few people here, whatever. They finally came in, guys. So look for those. Where are we at? Right there. They came in today. So there's 20 of them that we got. So we'll figure out. We'll get the people I want to get them, and then we'll figure out the rest of them. But
sign them. Can you number them?
Yeah, we're going to randomly, and then people will randomly get a number or whoever I give them to or whatever. All right, pick time. I've already got all mine wrote down. So y'all want me to go first this time? Because I think everybody's went first but me. It seems like.
Go ahead.
All right, for the trucks, because he runs really well at the road courses, and he's actually had a few scuffles there. He had one with Cole Custer a couple years ago. You guys know where I'm going. John Hunter. I'm thinking he gets it done. I just have that funny feeling. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll take Zane Smith this week. He's in the 38 truck, I believe, for front row.
Right.
And I two reasons. Zane has just been really consistent this year, and of course last year that truck won at COTA with Todd Gilliland at the wheel. So I think front row has a good program in trucks, and I can see them continuing success at COTA.
Can I ask something really quick before we go any farther? Can we ever pick the same people? like say you pick somebody and then Josh had that in his mind, he has to switch.
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh, absolutely. I don't see any reason why we couldn't pick
I'm
the
just
same
curious
people.
because say I picked somebody and you thought that.
I would try. I keep a couple in my head so I don't pick the same.
Right. It kind of does make it a little bit more interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm surprised none of you guys took Ben Rhodes. He won the Daytona road course last year. And I think he finished second to Gilliland at COTA. But I'm not taking Ben Rhodes either.
Well, we could have went back to where you said I'm surprised none of you picked Chase Briscoe the other week either, but you did.
Well, so while I was eating, I looked at the entry list and I looked at the last couple finishes. I think Kaz Gralla is going to get Young his third win.
I can see that.
He finished sixth at Daytona and I think like third at COTA in the 02 truck last year.
And he finished top 10 in his Cup debut at the road course at Daytona for Dylan.
Yep. That would be pretty impressive. I can't say that I wouldn't be sad or mad at all to see him pull that off. I know that would make Tyler's day. He had a good run there in ARCA. I know we're in picks, but they finished second down there at Five Flags.
Yeah, with Leland.
Yeah.
I actually was on his live Instagram stream the other night, and he was saying what's up there. I mean, there was only like 6 people in there, but
who's that now saying what's up?
Leland.
Oh,
I was thinking maybe he could come on the show. I was gonna try reaching out to him.
Yeah, I don't care if you guys ever want to talk to anybody. For all I care, Octane, you could fill us in on the information on somebody at the Speedrome, tell us who they are, and you could have them on. Dude, I don't care. It's fine with me.
We'll try to make something happen this year.
What about his wife? Your wife? We can interview her.
Yeah, interview
she
her.
Races.
If she don't want to be on camera, we can put the black screen.
She does more racing than any of us.
Right. There you go. That'd be cool. I don't know.
Well, I will definitely. I'll talk to her about it. See what she says. Because next two Mondays I'm working a different shift, so I'll actually be at home.
Okay. I mean, hey, I don't care if she wants to be on. Let her be on. We're after anybody. We're just having fun here. We're not.
Oh, it's what it's all about. It's all about fun for sure.
Like this week, we're already at 8:03, and we still got to do the other two. We're not on any time frame tonight, so we'll keep it going though. So very interesting picks though from all three of us there. Xfinity, I might steal a pick here. He's a road course.
I already know who you all are gonna want to pick.
I'm going with Allmendinger.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is insane on these road courses. Look at him. I mean, how can you not want to choose him? So I'm going Allmendinger, and I don't even have a reason why. He's just a road course guy. There we go. So what do y'all think?
I'm going to throw a monkey wrench into this because that's a great pick. You know, he's probably going to be on one of my fantasy teams on DraftKings if I play it this week. But who I'm going to pick is Sheldon Creed. If you look, he won the truck race at Daytona on the road course. And I was looking at his stats in the trucks. He's got 75 Truck Series starts. I don't know how many on road courses, but 5 top 10s on road courses.
Wow. I'd like to know how many he has actually ran, because that's a pretty good darn number right there.
I was going Ty Gibbs.
All right.
Ty's got a win on the road course last year at Daytona, so not a bad pick. I mean, Ty Gibbs and anywhere, I think, is not a bad pick.
Yeah,
here lately,
he's everywhere. Honest. I think he could be in a crappy car and still drive pretty good. I just
all the haters on social media are like, oh well, it's just because he's in a Gibbs car.
No,
how many wins did Harrison Burton and Brandon Jones have last year in Gibbs cars? So
yeah, I remember seeing Ty, and I didn't know any better, which he was a little bit younger. I mean, he was like maybe 15, whatever, or 13, running at Millbridge, and seeing Joe Gibbs there, and I'm like, why is Joe here? And then somebody said, you don't know it? And I'm like, what? He's like, his grandson Ty's running, and I never even thought about it, but that kid's going somewhere. That's for doggone sure. All right, Cup action. I got to go with my guy, Larson. I just have that feeling. He came up short last year at Coda, but I think he gets it done this time for sure. I mean, I just think he will, and I'm hopefully he's over this dry spell he's been on these last 2 weeks. He's just had bad luck, and hopefully he can get the win. So that's my.
So
pick.
you're picking the second time winner already for the year, huh?
Yep. There it is.
I think at Coda, Kurt Busch is going to win. Kurt's a great road racer. He seems to be figuring out the Toyotas now. And of course, they're basically a JGR Junior team. But Kurt has had, 2 top 5 finishes in a row now, or 2 out of the last 3 top 5
I'll
finishes.
tell you this much: he's been outperforming his little partner there, teammate, by far. He's come over there to 21-11, and he's 23-11, not 21-11,
Yeah.
23-11, and he's really showed out for sure.
Yeah, he's showed up for sure this year. I think he's got equipment that will back up his driving style. So I think Kurt's going to have a good run. He had a good run last year. Of course, he had that crazy spin into the sand trap there near the end in the rain where he went in between 2 cars. And
was that the deal when Harvick had the big wreck too with that gold car?
It was during all that point, but he weaved in between 2 cars and went through the sand trap and kept it going. But I just think,
if you guys remember, it was a terrible rain though during that
Yeah.
last race. So
Yeah.
it's really a factor. You know, Chase came out the winner last year, but it was kind of shortened by rain.
They're not going to let them run in that again. I don't think they'll ever allow that.
No,
not that bad.
Insane. That was insane. All right, Mr. Sundberg.
Chase Elliott.
I knew one of us was going to take it.
I mean, it's the low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to stick with Chase Elliott, but my gut is telling me Chase Briscoe.
Really?
I know that's crazy, but he almost did it in Indy.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking Ross Chastain
in really bad Stuart Haas equipment.
Yeah. That was the deal where he come back on track and then costed Hamlin.
Hey, at least Hamlin didn't win.
Right. I mean, I'm not racist at all on Bubba. I mean, he's African American, but I just don't like the guy and the way he carries himself. And we all know what he's done and the stupidness. I don't appreciate the way he treated Petty, and there it is. I said it, so whatever. But I'm not saying I wasn't happy when I seen him fall back yesterday. I mean, I'm glad he's all right, but he didn't get that win. In my book, he still don't have the win. There we go. I said it. I said it. We're wanting people to come on this show, and I'm literally stating how I feel, which we've all done it so far. So who cares? It is what it is. But I guess that's a wrap. We went a little bit over, but Josh came in a little late too. So I at one point in time, Josh, I was sitting here talking to everybody by myself because he had issues as well. So it was pretty fun tonight. But all right, so I guess that's going to be a wrap for episode 5. We'll be back next week. We'll see how our picks done, and we'll see what Coda had to offer. So I'm pretty excited for it and seeing how these cars are going to be at the first road course. We don't know, obviously, so we'll see how it happens. But this is Danny and Gray's High Octane and Cleveland Car Connection. We're going to head off. Thanks so much for you guys that tuned in, and for those of you who tune in later. We'll see you guys later. Take care, guys.
Peace.
Have a good one.